Here we go on a We Learn Wednesday edition of the B Team on TexAgs. I'm Ryan Brauninger. He's Richard Zane.
I am the great Cornholio.
He is the great Cornholio. He needs teepee
for my bunghole.
And behind,
Your
you got to pull. Oh, you should have pulled your hood up when you started that.
I'm the great Cornholio.
An inauspicious start to this episode. Cade Fade, producing the episode as always. Nick Savage is on sabbatical. Actually, he's not. He is on vacation in New York City.
Hey, Cade, this is your first full day of the next week of nothing but Cade Bickham produced shows out of TexAgs. How we doing? How do we do the first day? Give us a status report. How we feeling?
Honestly, I feel like today went about as well as it could have gone, honestly. If we're being for real, I think it did go as well as it could have gone. So, yeah.
Starting on the right foot.
Instead of asking him for a status update, I should have asked him for a glow check.
Well, take a glow check on Southwood Valley Animal Hospital, the sponsors of the B Team. They are a full-service veterinary clinic offering tailor-made wellness plans for your sick pet. They have daytime emergency care, advanced surgical capabilities, preventative medicine. Aggie owned and operated. Dr. Justin with his wife, Dr. Lauren, a vet team that will take care of your pet like they are family. They aim to provide superior veterinary care at affordable prices. Go see them, 3206 Longmire Drive in College Station. While their remodel is taking place, they are still fully operational. It was a little bit late to get the rundown for the show to Cade and Richard today, and then as soon as I hit send, I'm talking about as soon as I hit send on this rundown, massive news breaks in the college football world, and it pertains to this show because the guy to my left grew up a fan of the Michigan Wolverines, and today, this afternoon, about 4 o'clock Central Time, Sherrone Moore has been let go as the head coach at Michigan. And where the Wolverines go from here, welcome to Ann Arbor, Biff Poga.
I guess he is the interim head coach, wouldn't he be? He had coached a couple games for the Wolverines while Sherrone Moore was suspended earlier this year. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what Michigan does. Obviously, it's been a crazy coaching carousel. For the most part, the dust is settled on it. Looks like it's being kicked back into high gear once again with what I believe to be one of the better jobs in all of college football opening up. Way better job than Penn State, for my money.
For sure, without question. But they've got their coach. Penn State does already, and they landed on a good one. Their search
let me
ended
ask you
where
this.
It should have started.
Let me ask you this. So with Michigan joining the cycle so late, is it possible that we see a coach who has been at their school for 2 weeks or so get plucked away to go coach the winningest football program in college football history?
I don't think that is in the cards or even on the table, but I do think
things have happened.
Hold on, time out. I do think the Michigan head coaching search could find its way to SEC country and perhaps be targeting a man who has seemingly been unhappy at his current home in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, following the greatest coach of all time. Rumors have matriculated out of Alabama that Kalen DeBoer might be ripe for the taking for a high-profile job. It just has felt like a weird mesh from day one. So, if you're asking me, could Lane Kiffin do a quick heel turn and leave Baton Rouge for Ann Arbor? No. But if you're asking me, would Lane Kiffin make a quick heel turn and leave Baton Rouge for Tuscaloosa? It's on record. That's his dream job.
You think if Michigan goes and takes Kalen DeBoer and that job opens, then Lane jumps? And now LSU.
No, it's far-fetched, right? Because of all the finances involved, the whole thing. But I'm saying Michigan/Alabama have a chance to completely reopen the daytime drama that was the LSU coaching search. The firing of Brian Kelly, the buyout, the governor, a president that they had to hire, a new AD.
Yikes.
Like all of that, they thought the book was done. They were like, all right, we can close this chapter in LSU football history, and we can leave a bookmark in it to never open again if you're an LSU fan. It will be a bookmark that is often referenced by fans of rival schools across the SEC, including the one in College Station. But they thought it was done. They had put the pen down. And I just personally would love to see a scenario play out where they've got to pick the pen back up and they've got to go, oh boy, what are we going to write now? Because our head coach, the guy that we index so much of our time, effort, money, resources to get, has turned tail.
That'd be amazing.
And is headed to one of our biggest rivals after being on the job for less than a month.
It does sound...
It would be incredible theater.
It would be. And part of me kind of hope it happens. But
part of you?
Yeah, because the Michigan fan in me doesn't think that he's the best. Kalen DeBoer's the best
That'd be a good
coach in the SEC that could possibly be available.
Who are you referencing?
If I were Michigan and I were going after a sitting head coach in this league, my first name on the list would be Clark Lee. I don't think Clark Lee's going to leave Nashville. I don't think he'd leave Nashville for Michigan, even though it's the Michigan Wolverines. I think he truly believes in what he's building at Vanderbilt. I think he's a Vanderbilt lifer. But the results he's got already, he's got the right makeup that could help settle down a program that, for better or for worse, they obviously won national championship a few years ago, has been quite a bit of a circus throughout the Jim Harbaugh era and then into the Sherrone Moore era. Clark Lee could be the guy that could get them back to the winning ways without the sideshow act.
Well, the sideshow act being Connor Stallions involved right in the middle of all this.
I mean, yeah, Connor Stallions was the biggest attraction on the sideshow act, but let's not forget the time where Jim Harbaugh wore cleats into a recruit's house and ruined his mother's hardwood floors, or the time he had a sleepover at a recruit's house, or the hamburger thing that got Harbaugh suspended, or Sherrone Moore being suspended this year, and then he did the whole blue-collar thing that never really made any sense because Michigan is not a blue-collar school at all.
Oh, you're talking about when they went to USC?
Yes. And then, he wore a blue-collar jacket with Sherrone embroidered on it to all of his press conferences the rest of the year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
For those of you unaware, Michigan head football coach Sherrone Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately. Following a university investigation, credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. This conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and Michigan maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. Biff Polgai has been appointed head football coach in an interim capacity effective immediately. That is a statement from athletic director Ward Manuel.
Warday.
As Billy calls him, Warday Manuel. So one of the blue bloods,
another blue blood with the job open.
But it is another one this cycle, but it's the only one open, right? All the other jobs have been filled. And when a blue blood job like this comes open, there will be more trickle-down effect, unless they're going to go hire a Brian Daboll. I don't think they are, but I'm trying to make an example. He was just the name of if they're going to hire an NFL or professional coach. If they're going to go hire a sitting college head coach, and I don't think that they're going to go the coordinator route, that's not what Michigan's going to do here. They're going to go pluck a sitting head coach, and then there will be a trickle-down effect from that. I
know there's a lot of smoke around Marcus Freeman being unhappy in South Bend, but that would be an incredibly tough sell to the Michigan faithful.
Do they view Notre Dame as beneath them?
No, but you could never convince a Michigan Wolverine that hiring an Ohio State Buckeye to be their head football coach is a good hire.
I also think there's some legs to this Marcus Freeman to the New York Giants thing.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Eli Drinkwitz, probably on that list of candidates.
Ooh, I don't.
But that'd be a real Dewey hire.
Yeah, that would not taste great going down. I don't know what. Who are some names that would be acceptable? What about Lincoln Riley?
Oh, yuck. No.
I think he'll put his name in.
Of course he will. Lincoln Riley's a job hopper. Like a homie hopper. He's a job hopper.
Don't be a homie hopper, kid.
Michigan is a Jordan school. That's Jumpman adjacent. That's Nike adjacent. Dan Lanning?
Well, Nike did bake in some terminology into that contract that makes it very hard for him to leave. I don't know. Dan Lanning seems, and he said multiple times that he's all in on being at Oregon for a long time. Is Jed Fish a possibility?
Kind of forget about Jed Fish up there at Washington. It'll be interesting.
I'm sure, Cade, if you could, do a quick peruse of social media to see if there's some names catching some buzz here, because I got to imagine that Michigan has been working on this firing, this termination, understanding that they have an out here. They're firing him with cause. I think that they have done that, understanding they're getting to the coaching carousel late, so they've got a guy. I think they've got a guy.
Can I say something? Since they won that national title and Jim Harbaugh jumped for the NFL as the NCAA was investigating this program, I've long said that Sherrone Moore is being allowed to play head coach for the next couple of years, knowing that he's going to be the fall guy and they're going to pay him some money and eventually go away. Doesn't sound like they're going to pay him any money now that they've got him for cause, but they've let him play. They've let him play head coach for the last couple of seasons. I think Michigan has known they are going to move on from Moore in very quick order since the moment they hired him.
Welcome to the big house, Brian Kelly.
Yuck.
I'm looking around at names right now. I saw somebody say Drink. I saw somebody else. I've seen multiple people say John Gruden.
Groomers in Ann Arbor? That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
Ooh, that would be a bad hire.
That'd be a disaster waiting to happen.
I like John Gruden. He's incredibly entertaining. He hasn't coached in how long? It's kind of like bringing Philip Rivers back to play quarterback. It's not that bad because his brain still works, but he hasn't operated in this arena of any sort of football.
No.
You know, like in the NFL, college football now is...
I like John Gruden where he's at. Opening care packages from college football programs at Barstool.
College football looks less like the NFL, even though they're paying players, than it did whenever he got out of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt he leaves, but I bet they try to poach Signetti.
Interesting. That'd be a great hire.
That'd be an amazing hire. That would be an amazing hire.
You got to put the coach, like you got to put Signetti's...
You got to make the call. You got to make the call.
You got to make it put his word to the test, right? Like you got to put his perceived and not just perceived what he has said, the oral praise that he's given to the job and how happy he is there. You got to put that to the test if you're Michigan.
Brauny's a big fan of oral praise. Michigan, whatever you do not look at Morgantown, West Virginia. I don't even know who the head coach is.
Rich Rod. Go back to Michigan.
I'm not doing Rich Rod. Don't ever hire
Robinson back.
Don't ever hire a head coach. He played for Brady Hoke.
Yeah, he did.
Don't ever hire another coach from West Virginia.
Can I tell you
whatever
this?
You do.
Brady Hoke was one of my favorite college football coaches to watch.
He coached games in the Big Ten in short sleeves. It was amazing.
That's not even
football dude.
That's not even the rarest coaching attire choice he made. He didn't wear a headset.
God, he was awesome.
He would coach without a headset on.
He was not
just
awesome.
Winging it.
May I interest you in Jimbo Fisher, next head coach of the Michigan Wolverines?
No, you may not, Cade Bickham. Thanks for playing. I would like Marcus Freeman.
Are you trolling, or are these people really talking about these names?
No, that one I was trolling. That one I was trolling.
Michigan head football coach Marcus Freeman, and he brings over the grandson of the great Lloyd Carr to be the quarterback, the football throwing kid. Sorry, I had an Olin moment. And by the way, before you ask, he's in Houston. He's not coming. He
is at the Lombardi Award ceremony in Houston. I didn't know it was taking place in Houston.
It always
Cassius Howell and Trey Zune.
It's awarded by the Houston Rotary Club each year. That's who does the Lombardi Trophy. Lombardi Award. There's a Lombardi Trophy. It's a completely different thing.
A&M hasn't had somebody nominated as a finalist since Vaughn?
Kenyon Green.
Oh, yeah, Kenyon.
Lost to Michigan man, Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay. Kenyon was there. I guess that'd have been the COVID year? Or it'd have been...
I think it was 21.
21?
21?
Anyway, so I guess I just never clocked that it was in Houston, but OB and Luke are down there to probably watch Jacob Rodriguez win the award.
I imagine they will.
But this has been a lot of A&M guys got recognized. I thought too few on the all-conference teams. But
to this point, Olin is the first to get to chat with Cassius Howe since he was named a first-team All-SEC defensive end, and the first to talk to Cassius Howe after he was named the Defensive Player of the Year in the SEC. That interview available for premium subscribers on TexAgs.com right now. 4.5 minutes, one-on-one, Olin Buchanan and Cassius Howe.
That is going to be a massive recruiting feather in the hat of Mike Elko, Sean Spencer, Tony Girard-Eddy. Cassius Howe, they plucked out of Bowling Green and turned him into the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. On the other side of the line, you have Trey Zune, who wins Offensive Lineman of the Year. Congratulations to Trey.
Fifth-year guy. Stuck it out.
Has seen a lot of downs and then this year a lot of ups in his A&M career, and just seems like all-time good guy. And it's cool to see all these kids get rewarded after an 11-1 season, despite the fact that the one was in the final week of the season, and you were never told this, but it was apparent with the rankings that the date of your loss matters a bunch in terms of the College Football Playoff Committee. I think it does to a certain extent in terms of the people who vote on the postseason awards. So I'm glad that a couple of Aggies are getting recognized for the seasons that they had, the cumulative seasons that they had, not just one Saturday in Austin, which was a tough pill to swallow.
Yes.
But lest we forget that we are in the middle of the best Texas A&M football season in quite some time.
In 30 years. Since 1992, and it's not really a debate.
The only is the 2020, the 2020.
Oh,
the COVID season, they were 9-1, but it's hard to really put that in the same category.
2012 is a pretty good year too.
2012 was awesome, and
Johnny obviously won the Heisman, and you won a Cotton Bowl. It became a New Year's Six Bowl a couple years later.
That was a team that if there was a 12-team playoff, A&M gets in and they win the national championship. The way they were playing at the end of the year, it kind of reminds me of how Georgia's playing now.
Yeah,
like they were red hot, and they took Oklahoma to the woodshed in that second half. That was one of the more fun halves of A&M football that I've ever watched.
It was amazing. Just to talk about these two guys, Cassius and Trey, we've talked about Cassius a ton. He's a 4-time SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week, led the league in sacks with 11.5, tied for 4th nationally in sacks. He's had an outstanding year, and I think he's gotten talked about a ton, and rightfully so. But when it comes to Trey Zune, and offensive linemen are always the unsung heroes on a football team whenever you have any success, it's been a Joe Moore adjacent kind of season for the A&M Maroon Goons. Trey Zune obviously leading the way, second-year captain, started over 40 games in his career. Did you know he has the nation's best pass blocking grade, according to PFF? And did you know he has not been flagged for a penalty all season?
Did not know that. I didn't realize that.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. It's a model of consistency at a position that it's very difficult in this league to be that consistent. And let's just say this: we'll talk a lot more about the A&M and Miami game next week, but if Texas A&M is going to make a real run at this thing, and you look at the two teams that would be between them and a semifinal, the offensive line is as important of a group as anybody on the team, perhaps more important when you look at having to block the front seven for Miami and Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
So a massive couple of weeks coming up for the Maroon Goons. If they play to their full capability, Texas A&M, they can certainly beat Miami, and they can push Ohio State. Because what you saw against Indiana in the Big Ten Championship was an offensive and defensive line that could withstand the test in the trenches against Ohio State, and they struggled. They struggled to score points. And I think so. It's a line of scrimmage playoff. These two games are quintessential take your eye off the ball. Watch what's going on with the big uglies at the line of scrimmage, and that may tell you the story of both of these playoff games. But cool to see Trey get honored and Cassius. And then Casey Concepcion awarded the Paul Hornung Award for the nation's most versatile player, I guess is the most concise way to say that, which got me to think, across all sports at Texas A&M, is he the top one-year transfer in Texas A&M history? Now, the easy one that you're going to pit him up against, who, in my opinion, still sits at the top, of 1-year transfers is Braden Montgomery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with Braden Montgomery.
It's very hard to argue with Braden Montgomery.
You think about what Casey's done. First team all-conference, has a chance to be a first-team All-American, won the Paul Hornung Award, team's in the playoff. I hope he gets to finish it out. I hope he doesn't have to sit and watch on the sideline, knock on wood, like Braden did, right? But you'd have to mention him. I think Casey, with the year he's put together, is at least in the conversation with Braden Montgomery.
Yeah.
The thing is,
it's hard to argue
let's not forget, in 2024, there was about a 4 or 5 week stretch where Braden Montgomery was one of the best baseball players on the planet.
Oh, he was unconscious, yeah.
It felt like you go to Bluebell Park, and every time he'd come to the plate, like he's going to hit a homer.
Yeah, he was pretty much unstoppable for a good 2 weeks.
It was longer than that, dude.
Yeah,
you go back and watch.
It was like a good month.
There was there's a YouTube video. If you search it on YouTube, you'll find it. It's all the home runs from the 2024 regular season. Somebody cut them up and put them together. Just go watch how many times Braden is in that through the first 10 minutes of the season. It's like every plate appearance, he was hitting the ball over the fence. And I had never seen an A&M baseball play to that level.
He was also essentially like a shoo-in for at least a homer a series in SEC play.
Well, he was on his way to being mentioned with that Golden Spikes group that had Charlie Condon in it.
Condon won it.
He won it. It was Travis Bazzana was in it, and there was one more. Bazzana.
Was it Caglione?
Yes.
Cags was the next year.
I thought he was still. Was he still? He was still a finalist.
It's the why can't I remember his name? The right-hander from Arkansas. Pitcher. He was there.
Gage Wood?
Yes.
No, not Gage Wood.
Not Gage Wood.
Gage Wood was the no-hitter in last year's World Series.
God, why can't I remember his name? He was the Friday night guy. Prager beat him.
Oh, no, he's left-handed. Hagen
he's
Smith.
left-handed.
Hagen
I thought
Smith,
he was right-handed.
yes,
Hagen
it was
Smith,
Hagen
left-handed.
Smith, yeah.
Yeah, Hagen Smith. We saw him walking around.
Yes, it was
Omaha.
Hagen Smith, Bazzana, and Charlie Condon.
Yes. And Condon won it that year.
It's crazy that Cags didn't win it. Cags was so good.
He's insane.
Cags didn't even. He wasn't even a finalist. He was a semifinalist that year.
Remember, he blew out late. He didn't pitch much in the postseason, but like Jack Caglione is one of the best all-around college baseball players I've ever watched.
Arkansas has back-to-back winners.
Hagen Smith and then
Vahiva Aloy, yeah.
I didn't know Vahiva won it last year.
Yeah, it was him, Doyle, and Lodize.
Oh, Lodice.
Yeah, but how many
from
reliever
Florida
of the
State.
year award winners do they have? Stopper of the year award winners do they have?
Who got married
Yeah.
this past weekend? Multiple Aggie baseball weddings
married.
this past weekend. So congratulations to Evan Oschenbeck and his bride, and as well Austin Boast and his bride. Both got married this past weekend.
It was pretty crazy on Instagram to see all those dudes wearing suit and tie or a tuxedo at these weddings.
I bet those were a good time. So congratulations to the Boast and the Oschenbecks.
Somebody said that Ruben Dominguez is making his case for the best single year transfer.
Is Luke Evangelist in the chat?
He's got a long way to go. And if I recall correctly, he had 2 points in A&M's most recent game.
So who are some of the other ones that would be in the discussion? Robert Ferguson.
Robert Ferguson gets talked about a ton. Yeah.
1-year transfers. I'm
most
sure I'm
impactful. What happens if Trevor Knight doesn't get hurt in 2016?
Ooh, that's a good shout. Trevor Knight's a great shout.
That was a team that was ranked 4th in the initial college football playoff ranking that year. They go on the road to Mississippi State, and I'm sorry to have to flare everybody's bass up, but he gets hurt. The Aggies lose. They go on to finish 8-4.
That was the Jake Hubenak boobs for Hubes took over social media.
That was the year I left my mother at Kyle Field when Ole Miss came to town, and they burned the red shirt on Shea Patterson.
And he won.
To beat us in the fourth quarter. I was so mad I walked
Record-breaking crowd for that one. Remember
No, that was a different year. The record-breaking crowd was when Bo Wallace was the quarterback.
Bo Wallace.
Because that was 2014.
Bro Wallace.
And I was also at that game. My dad bought tickets on StubHub. Didn't know we were in the Ole Miss section up in the zone. So sometimes when I go to sleep at night, Hotty Toddy haunts my dreams.
talking about the 2014 record-breaking game?
Yeah, the crowd.
I was at that game too, actually.
It was cold.
It was cold.
Real cold.
My brother fell asleep in the stadium.
How?
I'm not sure. He's a maniac.
Were there enhancements or
No,
suppressants involved?
No, what are you talking about? It was 2014.
I don't know how old your brother is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he would have been 8.
Oh, yeah. He got
Started young.
He got on a yeah. He probably had a couple of white.
Cade, how old were you
crashed.
in 2014?
I was 12.
Okay.
I was trying to think of Aggie basketball players that were one. Was Dexter Dennis 1 year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dex was a 1-year guy.
What? Oh, no.
Really good player. Really, really good player.
Daniel House was multiple years, correct?
Yeah, that sounds right. Was he?
I don't know.
Let me look. Y'all think of some other names.
Dude, we're very in the lead. 1-year players played 1 year. Boomer White.
Boomer White. Good call.
SEC Player of the Year,
Sekpoy.
Boomer White. Sekpoy.
Sekpoy, Boomer White. Still, Boomer hit 400 that year. He's kind of slumped toward the end of the year. That A&M team was so good. That 2016 A&M baseball team was crazy good. If they'd have gotten to Omaha, they could have won the whole thing. J.B. Moss still talks about that, but he's right.
And J.B. Moss texted me last night. I
About
told him, football stuff. Ooh.
Daniel House played 2 years.
Great
at A&M.
pull from Brad Duncan, Jay Sternberger.
Jason, another
that's
good
a
one.
great shout. Yeah.
I don't know
Best
that
pass catching
really
tight end in
good.
Texas A&M history, even though he was only here for 1 year.
Yes, I still don't think that anybody has climbed into the. Matter of fact, I would go Braden Montgomery 1, KC 2, Boomer 3.
Yeah.
Robert Ferguson was really good though.
If KC gets to,
If he gets
to 1,000 yards receiving, does he get to number 1? He would be the first 1,000-yard receiver since Christian Kirk in 2015.
Let's see what it looks like.
He's going to have to go on a legacy run to
Like if he goes
surpass
for-
what Braden did.
If he goes for 140 in 2 games and has a couple of touchdowns and they beat Miami and they upset Ohio State, then yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
See, Braden Montgomery's 1 year at Texas A&M. Okay, let me pull up the stats here. Okay, 322 average, 733 slug. On base was 454. So let's do the math.
1180.
1180 OBP. 27 bombs, 85 RBI.
And how many games?
61. Think about what and it kills me.
He'd have hit 30 homers.
Think about what A&M could
absolutely.
have done with a full strength lineup. And I know you lost Sadeo in that super regional too. That was a big blow to the pitching staff. But with the offensive firepower alone. In
it was
baseball,
crazy to see what he meant to that lineup. But I mean, they figured it out, and I think Jackson Appel was such a key cog to that group. But with Braden in the middle, and you saw that was the best version of Jace that we'd seen, because there was another superhero in the middle, you know. And it's crazy that you just forget that Gavin
he was
Grahovic
sandwiched between 2 superheroes because you had full strength Gavin Grahovic.
Yes, and you had Gavin, who people forget set the freshman record. I mean, feels like it was so long. It was so long ago.
Hayden Schott hit over 300. People forget about that because he's such a personality guy. He had an insane year.
Yeah, that team was such a well-rounded mix of players where you had your stars, your superstars on the mound and at the plate, but then you also had so many important role players. Teddy Burton, Ali Camarillo was as slick of a fielding shortstop that A&M's ever.
He hit double-digit home runs,
and he hit 300 pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was really good.
It was such a well-rounded team that you had Caden Kent come off the bench and add to the
He
stardom.
was superhero in the postseason.
It was wild, man. And don't forget, that team had at one point you had Gavin Grahovic playing left field in the College World Series. Be interesting to see where Gavin lines up this spring. I got a hunch.
I've still been perusing around Twitter for names. I'm seeing a lot of Kalen DeBoer mentions.
Really?
That's who they want.
Ooh, man.
That's who they want.
Please, I just need that first domino to fall.
Who the fans want.
The first domino falls.
That's who the Michigan fans want? Really?
Apparently so.
What?
I've seen it on
You start looking. He's looking at it. You're not looking
I trust him. I trust him. I trust what Cade's saying. But what are they thinking? Why do they think Kalen DeBoer is?
Do you have a name that you would think would be a better hire than Kalen DeBoer?
I told you one that I thought would be a better hire.
Clark
Lee. If you're a Michigan fan, you should absolutely swallow your pride if you can go get Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman's a way better coach than Kalen DeBoer.
By what metric?
By my personal feelings.
Okay. Because Kalen DeBoer has won an insane amount of games. Cool. His record is almost unheard
but have you
of.
seen his haircut?
Who cares? I don't care if my coach has dreadlocks, Jamaican-style dreadlocks down to the middle of his back, or he's bald-headed.
Chip Kelly.
Or if he looks like
2016.
Or if he looks like a cul-de-sac, or if he's 900 pounds, or if he's 120 pounds. Can the guy coach football? That's all that matters.
I've also still seen like people tying BK because he coached some other school in Michigan to a national championship, like a smaller one.
Michigan State?
Grand Valley State?
Might have been. Grand Valley State. He also coached at Central. He's got Michigan ties. He's got 2 national championships at the Division II level. Sounds terrible.
I need Kalen DeBoer to get that job.
Jenna just texted me. She goes, Harbaugh, Mr. Steal Your Signs, Moore, Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
That's
racy text message, Jenna. I need this to happen, though. I need to see the panic in Baton Rouge.
What was Sherrone Moore's line to the staffer? He texts her, good morning, 5-star?
Well, I hope that's all it was a text message.
Good morning, 5-star.
I would hope that's all it was a text message. But that
Cade, what would
like
your line to a girl be?
That's not seems like that'd be something that'd be grounds to terminate a coach for cause.
You don't think?
One racy text message, maybe. I mean, especially if you're searching for a way to get him out.
The real question is if Kalen DeBoer ends up doing this, or if they end up getting Kalen DeBoer, how much money does the state of Louisiana keep siphoning out of the children's hospitals to give to Lane Kiffin?
There's going to be a Lane Kiffin tax that hits the state for every every grocery store. You go to Walmart, you go to Rouse's, any of those local Cajun meat markets.
Apparently, Moore got her pregnant.
What?
That's what the Twitterverse is saying.
Yikes!
That's definitely worse than a text message.
That's worse than a text message. But can you imagine, like, hey, I'm here to get some smoked boudin. Give me 4 links. 4 links usually cost you $20.
It's going to cost $25 for the Lane tax.
It's $35.99. You're like, what's going on? Like, this is the Lane Kiffin tax. We got to pay his salary, and now Alabama wants to come steal him away. So Governor Landry has enforced a Kiffin tax because that's what this guy does.
They'll pay Lane Kiffin, but they won't fix their roads.
We are living and breathing a real life water boy. That's what's happening in Louisiana right now. But instead of a 40-year-old linebacker, you're talking about a 55-year-old or 50-year-old head coach. But that's what's happening, and I need it to continue. I need the panic to continue.
It would be quite hilarious.
I revel in it. We got a lot of mileage off of that BK disaster on this show, didn't we?
Oh,
we got an awful lot of mileage.
Yes,
we talked about that for a long time.
Yes, we did.
What else did you find out on
free
Twitter?
Content.
I found out that Disney's Mickey and Friends are doing Topps trading cards, and the clip is Mickey in a Dodger uniform, and everyone's saying, "Oh my God, they can't stop signing everyone."
Oh yeah. We got a new
All
closer.
of your players are belonging to us now.
Got a new closer. It looks like Pete Alonso's going to the Orioles too. They have a big bid in for.
I love it. I love that Mets fans are down terribly.
So the Orioles might have a new first baseman, but for sure the Aggie soccer team has a new head coach. Bobby Shuttleworth hired this week by Trev Alberts, and I don't know anything about college soccer, the landscape, the coaches, who's good, who's bad. But my quick scroll through social media, and even the folks, our users on TexAgs who dive into this stuff much more than I do, some of which have girls, daughters that play club and travel soccer, this has been extremely well received by a lot of folks that keep a kind of a close finger on college soccer. And they have been comparing this hire to a la Kirby Smart leaving Alabama or Dan Lanning leaving Georgia to get their head coaching opportunities. That's kind of how highly thought of Bobby Shuttleworth was as a first assistant at Florida State.
So he was an assistant coach for 4 years at Florida State, helped the Seminoles win 2 national championships, including the most recent one earlier this week.
They've turned into like the North Carolina.
They're really good. They had an undefeated season all the way through in 2023.
That's wild.
Yeah, undefeated, like all wins. I know what you're saying.
They didn't draw either.
I don't think they had a draw in 2023.
Let's look that up.
2023 Florida State soccer. Anyways, this guy's a goalkeeper by trade. He spent 14 years in the MLS, so he knows a thing or two about goalkeeping. So he obviously coached most directly with them with that position. And yeah, so they were 22-0-1. Excuse me, you were right. Invincibles, just like
they
Arsenal
literally
when they didn't
only
win a
tied
European
with
Cup.
North Carolina.
Huh?
They only tied with number 1 North Carolina. That was the only tie of the season.
Is what I was saying is one of these goalkeepers that he was coaching was like the ACC Player of the Year and a 2-time All-American. So I know that's an extremely small sample size, and now he's going to be in charge of an entire program instead of just one position. But he can do what he does best at an extremely high level. There's no joke about that. I was talking to Nuno about him, and he said the clubs in this area are excited. They don't know anything about him, right? Because they haven't really met him. Florida State has 1 player from the state of Texas on their current roster, a player from up in Grapevine. But they're excited about what he could possibly bring to Texas A&M soccer. I can tell you, based on the other names I was hearing, A&M got a good one compared to the other ones.
Bobby Shuttleworth is 38 years old, so still relatively young in his coaching career. He is from
New York. He's from Buffalo.
Yes, he's from New York and
played at Buffalo too.
Listen to some of the teams that he played for during his senior career. So he did play for the Loyola Greyhounds. I'm guessing that's probably a D2. And then moved to Buffalo to finish his collegiate playing career. Then his senior playing career. Listen to some of these names. The Albany Admirals for a year. Kalamazoo Outrage. Buffalo City. Played for the New England Revolution, a very reputable MLS club, for 7 or 8 seasons from 2009 to 2016. Minnesota United for a few years. Chicago Fire. Finished his career in 2022 as the backup goalkeeper for at Atlanta United. Backed up Brad Guzan, longtime U.S. men's national team
Bobby
goalkeeper.
Shuttleworth is 13th all-time in MLS appearances by a goalkeeper.
Then his managerial career actually began while he was playing. So he took a 7-year hiatus from 2009 to 2017, so 2010 to 2017. In the middle, he coached for the Bentley University Falcons. That's a Division II team. Then re-entered MLS, and that was made as many appearances just about before his break as he did after his break. So that's a very interesting career arc there. And he had so after he got done with Atlanta United, he became the assistant at Florida State and then now the head coach at Texas A&M. So not a lot of recent managerial experience at all. I mean, he's never been a head coach. He's been an assistant at Bentley University and then the first assistant at Florida State. So this is a roll of the dice. You're hiring an unproven head coach, but it seems like he's really generated some buzz about himself amongst the soccer community. So exciting times. G. Guerreri was the only coach in this school's history.
Second coach ever is Bobby Shuttleworth. He'll talk to the media tomorrow. Not a formal introductory event. There's a lot of work to be done building the roster for next season. The transfer portal is already open, so he's kind of got to hit the ground running. And I remember A&M had an opening for about 2 months. Felt like 2 months anyways, and they just filled it this week, so he's kind of got to play catch-up on that side of the ball. So he is not going to be formally introduced to the 12th man, going to spend about 10, 15 minutes with the media tomorrow. I'm interested to get to meet him. I'm excited.
I just there was somebody in the chat that said we need to check
I have that
Matt
pulled up.
Moscona.
I have it pulled up.
I have it right here too.
I also have it just to throw my hat in the ring.
Cool.
Is this the one from 38 minutes ago? We're looking at?
Correct.
Do you guys want to start reading at the same time?
No, let's not do that. I got a call Saturday that Sherrone Moore was going to be fired for cause due to an inappropriate relationship. Not sure I believed it. I hear wild rumors all the time. Well, this person was right. This person also mentioned Michigan would target Kalen DeBoer as Moore's replacement. Take that for what it's worth. But he already got the more incredible part of the story correct. And Matt Moscona based where?
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
I saw a funny tweet from known LSU fan and Barstool employee T-Bob.
Goat.
He said, right after it happened, he said, I personally will remember the Lane Kiffin era at LSU quite fondly.
T-Bob's got his LSU version of BAS in high gear. Would that be BTS?
I don't know, but there's another name that we haven't mentioned in regards to a potential, adding to the coaching carousel. And the only reason I'm throwing this name out there from Michigan is because of what has happened to this roster in the last week or so. What do you think about Kenny Dillingham at Michigan?
That'd be a good hire.
Feels like he'd rub the Michigan men wrong way too quickly. I think he's a good football coach, right? He just doesn't feel like a cultural fit. Not that I think fit matters. I think winning football games
makes anybody
is the most important thing.
Well, much like Clark Lee is an alumni of Vanderbilt, Kenny Dillingham is an alumni of Arizona State. So does that make it harder to pry these guys out of their current situations? Perhaps, but there has been a shocking number. I guess not number, but there's been a shocking amount of quality leave the Arizona State program already. Now, Sam Leavitt has not formally announced that he's entering the transfer portal unless it's happened while we were on this show. But Kenny Dillingham, for all intents and purposes, wished him well in one of his recent press conferences because Sam Leavitt no-showed the team banquet, the post-regular season team banquet, which is a very interesting move if you are going to stay with a team. They've also had, Arizona State, their starting left tackle announce he's entering the transfer portal already. So these are two cornerstone pieces to this football program that helped him last year win a Big 12 championship and get a first-round bye in the playoffs and nearly knock off Texas in one of the greatest seasons in Arizona State history, are now going to be on the open market. And for Kenny Dillingham, a guy who gets a lot of public acclaim for being a head coach, and he does win the press conference. He is a little bit brash, but he does tell the truth. He probably to a fault sometimes tells the truth in his press conferences, but it just makes me think now. You started to see the exodus from Tempe earlier this week, and then all of a sudden a big boy job comes open, and Kenny Dillingham's name has been mentioned amongst these big boy jobs, most notably LSU recently, right? As the worm was kind of turning on Lane Kiffin. I say the worm was kind of turning. It was hard for anybody to really pin down what Lane Kiffin was going to do. So I think LSU was trying to make some contingency plans, and for a little bit, those involved Kenny Dillingham. So I just wonder if there's been some stuff behind the scenes gone on that would make Sam Leavitt believe that his head coach was leaving. It's just a conspiracy. It's just a thought. I've got no information. That was all put together and spun into a thread by my brain in the last 90 seconds.
Tin hat, aluminum foil hat Brauninger.
Yeah, but I do think Kenny Dillingham is movable. But it's just weird for him to have that program on the precipice of kind of breaking through to the next tier of college football for his quarterback, who was the heart and soul, along with Jordan Tyson, of this team this year. I know Leavitt and Tyson both missed a bunch of time due to injury. And the starting left tackle, isn't that strange to you that they're already making these announcements, a little less than a month before the portal even opens? Sam Leavitt's going to probably command a really high dollar amount on the open market. And I'm wondering if Miami's sitting there trying to make a decision between Sam Leavitt and Lenore Sellers. And that is it's not a pit, because you can make it work. And Miami has to a certain extent. But if I'm a high school quarterback, there's no way that I would ever sign with Miami. Look what they've done.
I'm with you.
They're going to go get a one-year wonder at quarterback. They're going to overpay for him, and they're going to hope it works out. And so eventually Miami is going to whiff badly on one of these, and they're going to tank a season. And then I think Mario Cristobal is working on, hey, I just had a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, and now I'm in the playoffs. Like, I've got a little bit of goodwill built up, so if I have a stinker, nobody's going to be ready to run me out of town. But you better, if you're going to do one-year wonders at quarterback, you better not miss.
Yes.
Because what's probably on the depth chart behind them is either woefully underprepared and underdeveloped because they're so young, or they're flat out not good enough to win at even an ACC level.
I just don't think that you can build a long-standing, successful program that way. They've had success doing it the last couple of years. Where did Tyler Van Dyke was a guy who was he started at the program. He started at Miami for Mario Cristobal's first 2 years. And then they won 10 games last year with Cam Ward, 10 more games this year with Carson Beck. You can't sustain that. Because as you said, sooner rather than later, they're going to whiff. And familiarity and experience with a system and an offense and playing behind an offensive line does wonders for quarterbacks. I just think they're on borrowed time at the quarterback position right now. Are you looking up Tyler Van Dyke?
Oh, no, I'm looking up Mario Cristobal's tenure at Miami.
Well, I was doing some research on the history of Texas A&M versus Miami this week. So I'm
Cristobal's fourth season.
I'm very well versed on their quarterback history at Miami, at least under Mario Cristobal.
So I remember De'Aaron King was the quarterback. Did he leave before Cristobal got there? I know he was there in 2021, and he was a transfer. But I'm trying to remember who their quarterback was.
Who was the coach before then? Was that when Richt was still there?
Good question.
Is that Mark Richt?
He had a brief cameo. I forgot he was even
uncle of
Kirby Smart.
No.
Manny Diaz.
Oh, Manny Diaz. Yeah, Manny Diaz was the head coach there after.
I thought he was the uncle of Manny Diaz, and I'm going, how does that make sense?
Uncle of Max and Jake Johnson.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Through the mother's side.
Yeah, didn't know that. So Manny Diaz, and the quarterback for Manny Diaz was De'Aaron King. Is that correct?
Let me go double check.
Cristobal at Miami, 5-7, 7-6. Insert one-year wonder at quarterback, 10-3. Insert another one-year wonder at quarterback, 10-2. It's worked out. And look, you have to examine his career record at Miami and say, brilliant move. Your back probably was up against the wall after 5-7 and 7-6.
Yep. Remember that going into 2022, they had people saying Tyler Van Dyke was a possible first-round quarterback. And they laid an egg.
He looked like buns here at Kyle Field.
Yeah, then threw for 5 touchdowns on us at Hard Rock Stadium the next year.
Manny Diaz did have De'Aaron King. That's correct.
So
it was 2020 and 21, but he only played 3 games in 21.
Van Dyke played a little bit that year.
I think that sounds correct. Hold on. Yes, that is correct. Tyler Van Dyke played in 10 games, and he went for almost 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
So that was the last quarterback that started as an underclassman at Miami was 2021 Tyler Van Dyke, and then obviously he matured in the role, and it was his team for a couple of years. But again, you have to tip your cap to Mario Cristobal because after 2 seasons of going a combined 12-13, it probably was getting a little dicey for the money that they were paying for him and his roster in South Beach. So he went and spent big money on Cam Ward. It turned out in his favor, 10 wins and a Heisman Trophy. He went and spent big money on Carson Beck. It's turned out in his favor, 10 wins and a playoff appearance. And now he has built up that goodwill in Miami. But
I would like to point out that Tyler Van Dyke, maybe not significantly, but definitely regressed in the 2 years he played under Cristobal versus his redshirt freshman campaign with Manny Diaz. Interesting to note.
So Miami has Darion Coleman and Emory Williams as the listed backups for Carson Beck. And I think Emory Williams is he a transfer? I'll have to look him up. Oh no, he did sign with Miami, but he's a redshirt sophomore, so he's been there for 3 years sitting. I got to imagine this kid, if he goes into his exit meeting, if you've been at Miami for 3 years and you've seen Cam Ward come in and then you see Carson Beck roll in, I'm going to go into my exit meeting, hopefully here in about 11, 12 days, go into my exit meeting and say, I need some guarantees or I'm out of here. And then that room that is already very young gets even younger.
True. I bet they'll definitely go get somebody.
Yeah, there was all those rumors about Lenore Sellers a few weeks ago.
I wouldn't be shocked if I know that Mensah just transferred to Duke, but he could transfer again if he wants to go.
Every time someone says Mensah,
big.
I think of Tom Herman.
Yeah, that was funny. I do think that would be a giant slap in the face of Manny Diaz to have his quarterback leave and go to Miami, a place that fired him.
That would be kind of, that would be brutal.
But maybe, he does. There's no feelings anymore in this deal. There's no loyalty to a brand, a logo, especially when the portal, this stuff happens. And so, I think that's why you have to commend Mike Elko and the job he's done, because he's built some semblance of loyalty to the program and to the school, and it's tougher to do now than it's ever been because of the fluidity of player movement. There was a thread today. So I went on TexAgs Live earlier and was talking about A&M recruiting and the upcoming playoff game at home, and just, it's a dead period, so you can't host recruits at a home playoff game. They're also, due to the new house settlement rule, the early enrollees in the incoming freshman class will not be allowed to participate in practices ahead of the playoff game at Kyle Field, or even, if A&M wins the Cotton Bowl against Ohio State. Whereas last year, you had guys like Marco Jones and Adonis Curry and Noah McHale go out to Las Vegas and practice with the team before that Las Vegas Bowl. Won't be the case this year. But I was kind of setting the table for David over what our next couple of weeks look like. We have state semifinals this week. I do want to hit, there's a wild story that has taken place in small town Texas high school football. I say wild story. It's nothing nefarious. It's just crazy, the schedule that this team has played, and for them to find themselves in a state semifinal this weekend is pretty wild. I'm going to get to that here in a little bit, but kind of setting the table, I was with David about our state semifinal coverage this weekend, and then looking at next weekend when A&M does host Miami at 11 o'clock on Kyle Field. Our recruiting team will be in Arlington for the state championship games. And there was a thread started about that could not believe that that Jason and I, who has come to maybe 3 games in my entire career working with him. He's driven to College Station and actually gone to 2 or 3 games. One of them was Miami at home. Him and I sat next to each other in one of the Zone Club. We had a very nice, very generous Aggie give us a pair of Zone Club tickets, and we went and we watched that game together. But he doesn't come to College Station on game days. But this poster really couldn't believe that we weren't going to be in the stadium for what he called A&M's most important game in history. And I agree with that sentiment that it is. But let me explain to you, the job is the job.
Yeah.
And there's a lot at stake for all of us with what happens at Kyle Field in a couple of weeks. But there's not more at stake there than what is at stake with my job and what I was hired to do. So the magnitude of that game does register with me, but it's never going to be more important than the job that I was hired to do. So I think whenever you enter into an industry like we are in, and this is what I tell people all the time, I don't have set hours. There are plenty of people, millions and millions of people across America. There's tons and tons of Aggies that every day they wake up from Monday through Friday, they go to work and they have a traditional 9-to-5 schedule. That's very, very normal. We don't have that. Our schedule is whatever the job requires for however long it requires it. Correct?
Correct.
And there are some days that you won't have a thing to do until 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it may be one thing, and you're done with it by 4. There are other days, National Signing Day, for instance, where we are up at 5:30 in the morning, and that's going to last well into the night.
Sure.
So there is just no set schedule here, and you know that entering into this. So if you are somebody that is looking at getting into the sports industry, sports media industry, just get ready for it. And like, you know what you sign up for. So I'm going to be in Arlington at AT&T Stadium, sat down in the press box, watching the 5A Division II state championship game, which will probably be, no disrespect to Melissa or Bernie, it will probably be a rematch between Richmond Randall and South Oak Cliff, which will be cinema in and of itself. And on my laptop, I will have the Texas A&M game pulled up, and I will be watching both. Last year, we were sitting in that press box, and all the folks that cover the University of Texas were doing the exact same thing. I would rather not be in the stadium and watching, not be in Kyle Field and watching the Aggies play than be in AT&T Stadium with no option to watch A&M play at all.
Sure.
But I just wanted to get that out there that I have no issue going. Like, in fact, I was never in my wildest dreams that I think that I was going to be able to go to the playoff game inside Kyle Field. I have no expectations of doing so. My job is to be up there in Arlington for state championships like we are every year. So it's just, I think sometimes folks assume that because we work for TexAgs, we get a lot of like glamorous benefits and we get to go sit inside Kyle Field all the time. I went to UTSA, Utah State, Auburn, and Samford in South Carolina.
So since I've been working for TexAgs, or I guess since I've graduated my undergrad, which was December of 19. So that's been 20, which was COVID, 21, 22, 23, 24, and now 25. 6 seasons. I've been to 3 football games. 4 football games.
It's just what it is.
4 football games, and only one of them in a working capacity. It is what it is. This
job's awesome,
and
I wouldn't
awesome.
trade. But I don't like. I wouldn't trade being able to go to football games for this job. No question.
It's awesome, and there is a lot of, the kids call it FOMO, right? I remember in 2020 when A&M went to the Orange Bowl, it was only 25% capacity in Miami Gardens for that, but it was the biggest bowl game A&M had played in my lifetime, and some of my friends went, and they had a ticket for me, and I think in a world where it was a normal kind of setting and credential access kind of thing, TexAgs might have sent me, but I knew, given the restrictions, that it was going to be Olin and Gabe and maybe a Photog. I don't even think a Photog went. So I knew what my game day responsibilities were. I was going to have to be somewhere with my computer, whether that be home or the TexAgs office. And I remember being a little upset, but understood that that's how it goes. It's how it goes sometimes. You're going to miss out on some things if you want to work in sports, but trust me, the highs and the cool things you get to experience and the cool things you get to do vastly, vastly outweigh the handful of things you're going to have to miss out on.
And really, the stuff that we miss out on is usually during football season because we are technically not analysts for football. Whereas you are the beat writer for baseball, and I'm an analyst for baseball, and I'm also on the radio for baseball. We get to go to you go to every A&M home baseball game.
Yeah, I do.
On the road.
And there are some things that come with that you miss out on. Right? There are things that you miss out on. In 2024, when A&M went to the College World Series, and trust me, I was very excited to be going to Omaha for the second time in 3 years, second time as a young reporter. That's at least what I was called at the end of Omaha, young reporter. But my cousin got married between, it might have been the first time we went, between A&M's first 2 games. And one of my cousins I'm closest with, big wedding in Austin, would have loved to have been there, but TexAgs is like, you're going.
Listen, I tell our baseball kids all the time, if you want to be good at this, if you are chasing a dream of playing college baseball at whatever level, you better get used to saying this phrase, I can't, I have baseball. And we're talking about the same thing here. Like, I can't, I have work. And I think with every profession, there's if you want to be successful in it, there's plenty of scenarios where you have to say that. Like, I can't do that, I've got work. Because it's the long game that you're after, right? You're trying to reach a goal, and you're trying to move up the corporate ladder or corporate structure of your company, whatever it may be. And it's no different than what we tell our baseball kids. Like, you're going to have to skip out on going to that party. You're going to have to miss going to the movies with your buddies. You're going to have to miss certain things. And thank God, I'm so grateful that I grew up in a family where, like, the expectation was that I was going to be at baseball and nobody cared. Like, hey, your grandma's birthday party is this coming weekend. Well, I've got a baseball tournament. Grandma would tell me, go play baseball. There are some families that aren't like that, and I feel bad for some of those kids because they feel like they're guilt-tripped into doing things. They don't, I guess their support system isn't as strong, right? But man, while you are, this is just a PSA for parents and young players, while you are in your window to be recruited and to make yourself the best prospect that you can be, whatever it is, whether it be a young intern at TexAgs or you're entering the professional world right after you graduate from school, or you're trying to make it as an athlete in whatever sport, like, you are going to miss a lot of things that other people find valuable, and you have to, and it's part of it, and you just better get used to it, because if you can't say, and this is the world that I live in, if you're a player and you can't say, I have baseball, then I don't think you can do this for very long. That's just part of it. And we just beat into our kids' heads over and over. We tell them, like, if you are going to be good at this, and I'm using baseball as an example for life here, but if you're going to be good at this, you got to kind of be obsessed with it. I tell my high school kids all the time, like, if you're not sitting in English class thinking about your swing, I don't think you can be very good at this unless you're just some freak show gifted athlete.
Who's also good at writing papers.
You have got to, I don't think your baseball career is going to be determined whether you can write an essay on pre-colonial England or pre-colonial America.
You can sit in English class and not think about your swing and be a freak show baseball player.
Okay, pick math class.
Oof.
Pick science class.
No, you can't do
if your mind doesn't wander about baseball during the day, I don't think you can be as good as you're going to be at it. Like, you have to be kind of obsessed with it to be good at it. And I think if you allowed any of these guys to come in, if we asked them that, if we asked Gavin Grahovic the next time he comes in, like, how often do you think about your swing? And it's all the time. It's all the time. And he's obsessed with it. And he's going to be picked in the first round, hopefully, after a really good junior season. But that's the kind of level of commitment that you have to have physically and emotionally and mentally to be really good at it. And again, I'm using baseball as kind of a vehicle for the rest of whatever you're trying to be successful at.
And I feel that way about this job. I love this job. Maybe sometimes I love this job too much. But
it's like the Michael Scott.
Can't make me stop.
Michael Scott, list all your weaknesses. I work too hard. I care too much.
It's true. I am Michael Scott.
Yeah, not far. This office is
sue me. I like to wake up in the morning to the smell of bacon.
All right, so let's get to.
Yeah, tell us about this high school football story.
So this is the story of the East Bernard Brahmas. Okay, East Bernard, a small community southwest of Houston, in an area of the state that is pretty rich in Aggies. Like, you go down there. I've been to a game at East Bernard. I went and saw Dalton Brooks play at Shiner.
Home of Shane Leckler.
Shane Leckler is from East Bernard. It's a pretty maroon-clad community, and that's not just because the high school colors are maroon. So East Bernard this year started 0-3. Here were the scores to their 3 losses. They lost to Goliad 20-14. They lost to the Woodlands Christian Academy by 36 points, 64-28. They lost to Ganado by 11 points, 56-45. Since then, or after that 3-game losing streak to start the season, they won 6 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. Excuse me. They won 7 in a row to get into the playoffs. And then the last week of the regular season, they lost to Tidehaven, the prohibitive favorites, a team that has made multiple state championship appearances recently. Tidehaven, they lost 59-6 in the regular season finale. Since that 59-6 loss, they have beaten Rogers by 20. They beat Poth on an impossible last-second kickoff return. They returned a kickoff with no time left on the game to beat Poth 30-27. They beat Lexington 45-21, which set up a regional final matchup with Tidehaven, the team that beat them by 53 points. On November 7th, they beat them 59-6. They played less than a month later on December 5th. Final score, East Bernard 34, Tidehaven 31.
Wow. They
will play Newton this week in a state semifinal game. But that is as wild of a turnaround and a roller coaster as you've ever seen in a season. And I don't know, I mean, some maybe Texas high school football historian can go over this. Has a team ever lost by 53 and then flipped the script and won against that same team that beat them by 53 in the same season? Much less than, less than a month time.
That is so insane. That
59-6, and then you come back and you beat them by 3 in less than a month.
Well, you hear all the time about how hard
there
it
were
is
3 games. There were only 3 games between that.
You hear all the time the cliche is how hard it is to beat a team twice in the same season.
It's
but
usually
this is taking it to a new level.
Yes, it is hard to beat a team twice in a season. I do agree with that. That's why I'm glad A&M didn't have to play Notre Dame again. It's really hard to beat a good team twice in a season. But you got to think, if matchup 1 was a 53-point win, like you're thinking, okay, Tidehaven could play their C- game and still win by 10, 12 points.
Do you think the coach gave a speech like a Miracle-esque, Miracle on Ice-esque speech?
Like Little Giants? Even if they beat you 99 times out of 100, that still leaves 1 time.
Yeah, something along those lines, yeah.
You mentioned Miracle on Ice, Cade. There's some drama around Olympic hockey this year. Have you been paying attention to that at all?
Like, are you referring to like the Team Canada selection process?
No, I'm not. Yesterday it came out that the NHL players might not play in the games anymore.
Oh, word at all?
So they are building an ice rink in Milano Cortina for the Olympic Games, men's and women's ice hockey, and it's the first time since 2010 that the NHLPA has agreed to let their players go participate for their countries. It's the first time we've had best on best in the Olympics since 2010. The sheet of ice is 3 feet shorter in length than a North American ice rink, and it is wider than the international ice rink. So it's an odd shape. And the building process of this ice rink and the arena itself is set to be finished 3 days before the first women's preliminary game is scheduled to be played.
So they're going full Qatar World Cup.
Well, we'll got to see.
But
if
it's
there are
Olympics, so it's Qatar World Cup, but it's Italy, and they don't have the workforce to get it done. So literally, if there's any delays whatsoever, it's not going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, let's not. I mean, Qatar World Cup. There was some unsavory practices that led to those stadiums being
1,000%. Yeah, disgusting practices. I'll even go way beyond the.
Well, let's hope we don't go there.
Severe human rights violation.
We might not have Olympic hockey.
Yes, Cade. That's correct.
No Miracle on Ice speeches if they don't go to Milan.
Severe human rights violations.
Severe.
That was not a fun. I saw some images on social media that were hard to stomach when all that stuff was being built. And what's crazy is that country's so small, and those stadiums are going to sit and rot now.
Yeah,
they built it for this World Cup, and then they're going to. They got plenty of money. So maybe they put in a bid to try to get another one in the next, 12, 16 years.
Ugh, you can't go back there.
They got to play it in the winter.
You can't do it there. You have to play it in the winter, yeah.
Did you see all this stuff that they are going to at next summer's World Cup? The subs will not sit on the bench. They'll sit in the locker room so they can sit in AC to avoid the heat and exposure from the North American summers.
We're worried about it being too hot?
Yes.
Really?
There are some places where it'll probably be kind of ridiculous, but there's also some places where it's going to be fine.
Well, is Kansas City hosting games? Because that's one of the few outdoor stadiums where it gets really, really hot.
I think that they are. Yeah. I think they are because KC has a pretty huge
it's a big soccer community.
Yeah, it's a big soccer community. Yeah.
But they're playing games in Houston, that's domed. They're playing games in Arlington, that's domed. They're playing games in LA, that's domed.
Cade Bickham domed.
Aren't all the
playing games in Atlanta.
all domed. The stadiums in Mexico are open though, right?
They are open, but a lot of those are in altitude, so it's not as hot there in some of them. And I think there's only like 3 cities in Mexico that are hosting.
Mexico City, Guadalajara.
Because Mexico plays 2 games at Azteca in Mexico City, and there's the other one is at maybe in Guadalajara.
I saw videos of them expanding, or not videos, photos of them expanding the stadiums up in Canada. They're Canadian football stadiums trying to expand for soccer. And it looks like the erector set little bleachers that they used in Russia a few years ago. Remember that?
That's why I'm not sure about. At least the weather will be nice up there. They're playing in Vancouver and Toronto.
Be very nice.
Vancouver, Toronto, and then the other city, it's Guadalajara, Mexico City, and Monterrey.
Monterrey. Okay. Yeah. The U.S. plays in one in New Jersey, I believe. I just saw this. I should have brought it. I should have pulled it up before the show.
We chased Olympic hockey chatter with World Cup stadium chatter. Only on the B team, guys.
People are tuning out.
Only on the B team. Where else are you going to get this? It's the only place you can get this kind of conversation. You're missing out if you're turning it off.
The U.S. plays 2 games. Let's see. Play Paraguay in Los Angeles. They play Australia in Washington. And then they play whoever else qualifies into their group in L.A. So the U.S. men's national team all on the West Coast. That's disappointing. I mean, I like going to international soccer. I've seen a Gold Cup game in Arlington. They're fun, but that's why I will be at the big ice box for World Baseball Classic. Looking forward to that.
I'm excited for that.
America's catcher.
Will Smith. Have you secured tickets yet?
I have not, but I did see Ellie De La Cruz announce that he's going to play for Dominican Republic.
As he should. He's one of the most exciting players in baseball.
Freak.
I'm excited about the World Baseball Classic. We're going to go you guys don't care about it. World Juniors Hockey in January. Then we're going to go Olympic Hockey, ideally, knock on wood, in February. Then World Baseball Classic in March. World Cup begins June?
June.
I'm in. I'm so in for international sporting competitions. It's awesome.
Well, you know who is going to be out?
Who's out?
Stephen Daly, the Indiana defensive lineman. Did you see this story?
One
of their key defensive players for the Hoosiers. It came out today that he was injured in celebrating the Big Ten championship over the weekend, and he will miss the remainder of the season. Curt Cignetti did not give details on the extent of his injury other than he will miss the remainder of the season. This could be, I mean, you're speculating that if it's a season ender, it could potentially be something like an ACL. So this guy is going to miss potentially some games next year, recovering from an injury that he sustained. That said, it happened as he walked around the stadium. I think walked probably doesn't do the act in which he was injured a service. Like, I think that's shortchanging it. It's hard for me to believe that a young 20-something-year-old elite athlete was just walking around the stadium and injured himself. We have seen this happen before. Most notably, the one that sticks out in my mind, I should say, is Kendrys Morales coming across home plate celebrating a walk-off grand slam, and he tears his knee to pieces jumping on home plate.
I thought he broke his leg.
There has to be some more famous injuries while celebrating. I know we're missing a couple.
We actually, Kate, didn't we talk about this in the office not too long ago? Because I brought up when Yasiel Puig hit his first home run, walk-off home run at the big league level, he slid into home plate and received a lot of flack for it. And he said, well, I've seen people jump on home plate and hurt themselves. That's why he slid instead of jump.
Back-to-back days with a Lindsey Vonn reference. She was sliced a tendon in her thumb on a broken champagne bottle celebrating a world championship win. Amari Stoudemire lacerated his hand punching a fire extinguisher after a loss requiring stitches.
Amari Stoudemire, Jewish.
Lamar Houston tore his ACL after a sack.
I couldn't remember who that was.
Yeah. I was trying to think about who it was. as well. Apparently, Stephen Tulloch also did the same thing towards ACL, celebrating after a sack.
Bill Gramatica, brother of famous kicker Martin Gramatica, but Bill Gramatica kicked for the Arizona Cardinals, tore his ACL jumping up and down after a field goal in 2001. I do remember that. He was celebrating and then just collapsed right there, grabbed his knee.
We need to stop jumping up and down while we're celebrating on turf.
Well, listen, that turf and DKR, I don't know if we haven't even talked about that, but that was disgusting what happened the other night. I was worried about every play. That stuff looks like glass on TV.
It's bad.
So what, they watered the field
No, I just think it's the nature of their turf.
And then the turf sucks this year?
Well, that's not the reason why A&M lost, but you were holding your breath after, got to the middle of the second quarter. Yeah, middle of the third quarter, and people are slipping down all over the place.
And then not only that, but the play right after Marcel went down, Reuben Owens went down immediately after, very next play.
Yep. Outlaw AstroTurf, but not the designated hitter.
It's a good Bull Durham reference. There should be a constitutional amendment against AstroTurf and the designated hitter.
Not the designated hitter, but AstroTurf, I do agree with.
I believe in opening your president's Christmas Day, not Christmas Eve.
Yeah. All right, this is a We Learned Wednesday as we kind of wind down toward the end of the show. And on this We Learned Wednesday, guess what I've got? I've got snack facts. I talked about some exceptionally big back behavior that I participated in on TexAgs Live this morning, for which I received a couple of messages of they were like I guess interactive pats on the back from members of the TexAgs community because they had never thought about placing a Little Debbie Christmas tree cake between two Pillsbury cookies that are freshly out of the oven. If you have a chance to try that, I highly recommend it. It is like the world's best double doozy from Great American Cookie Company. It's incredible. I actually had a few folks tell me that you should put the Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes in the freezer.
I've never heard that.
I don't know how frozen cake would taste, but
frozen cake,
because there's a cake element to it. Obviously, there's Christmas tree cakes.
So when we went to so the Christmas tree cakes are essentially just the dressed up zebra cakes, right?
They've got something crunchy on top. They've got
they've got those sprinkles on.
Yes.
Those green sprinkles.
It changes the whole complexion.
Oh,
It changes the game.
Absolutely. When we went to Omaha in 24, went to an ice cream shop over in the Benson neighborhood, had zebra cake ice cream. It was way too sweet.
I could see how, because you're adding more sugar to an already sweet treat.
It was good, but it was way too much.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have a couple of bites, like, okay, that's incredible,
overload.
But I can't have any more of it. So we have just, and we meaning my wife and I, my very pregnant wife and I was not the consumer of the majority of the Christmas tree cakes, but we did complete all 4 boxes today. And I will throw myself
in. That's impressive.
I will, but it lasted probably 2 weeks, 4 boxes in 2 weeks. But again, like pregnant wife, she's going to eat whatever she wants, and I'm not mad about it. But if you have those stupid things open where I can see them in my pantry each and every day, inevitably,
it's going to have to.
I'm going to crush.
You're going to take them down. Yeah,
I'm going to crush them. So we ran out of them today, but maybe the next box, or the next round of grocery order, I stick 1 box in the freezer just to try out this experiment.
Well, maybe just put 1 in the freezer. Like take
yeah, but hold on, time out. You got to put the whole box. You know why?
Why?
Because what if they're delicious in the freezer?
Oh, and then you need another?
Yes. Whereas if you put the whole box in the freezer and it's not good, you just take them out of the freezer and they'll thaw out and you can eat them later.
You do make some good arguments, okay? You make some really, really well thought out arguments.
When it comes to food,
I
usually don't miss. Look at me.
This is true.
All right. We have snack facts. So you started talking about snacks, and my brain. It's like
snack facts.
What is it like? Is it like a shark? Whenever they
smell blood in the water.
Yeah, it's blood in the water.
Snacks in the pantry.
There's an animal that like blacks out whenever they've eaten too much. Like I can't remember. But that's essentially what I'm
going to look that up right now.
Like their eyes just kind of glaze over. Is it a dolphin? I can't remember. So I have snack facts. The first one is about, naturally we call it our stuff Gatorade.
Okay.
Gatorade was founded in 1965 when researchers were formulating a drink to rehydrate athletes at the University of Florida. We knew that. The original version, which probably we should bring this back, contained actual lemon juice, not flavorings. That might be good to call back. Jif peanut butter. Are you a Jif guy?
Peter Pan.
Crunchy?
Creamy. Always been Peter Pan.
Richard likes Peter Pan's cream. 5.5 billion pounds of peanuts are grown in the United States, and 10% of those peanuts end up in Jif peanut butter jars.
10%?
Apparently,
That's
Canada
high.
has the best peanut butter on the planet. And it's made by Kraft. The only reason I know this is because the Pat McAfee show way back when did a whole bit on it. And they've got a Canadian guy, Gumpy, that's on their show. And he started talking about how good their peanut butter was in Canada. And so they ordered some and had it shipped to the States. It's Kraft. They make the peanut butter in Canada. And apparently it's very, very good. Did you know that Ruffles are made with ridges to make them sturdier than other chips, and they're also the official chip of the NBA?
Oh. I didn't know they were the official chip of the NBA.
You did?
I didn't.
Oh. Do you know the Del Monte fruit cups?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Del Monte brand has roots in the Hotel Del Monte in California in the 1880s. They originally sold coffee out of the hotel, but expanded with the brand name to sell canned peaches. Fruit Roll-Ups launched temporary tongue tattoos in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember those, yes.
Those were big
sick
when I was a kid. I used to be able to buy them at the lunchroom at Donald Elementary School in Flower Mound, Texas.
They were all the rage.
Richard, do you remember, somewhat off topic, but silly bands?
Yes, I remember silly bands.
Okay.
Talenti. Familiar with this brand?
The gelato brand?
Yeah,
The
okay,
gelato
now
brand.
that I see the photo, yeah. I
Talenti,
can recognize that.
Even though gelato is a snack usually from European lineage, Talenti was created in Argentina in the 90s. Krispy Kreme. The recipe for Krispy Kreme's famous glazed donuts is kept under lock and key at the company's plant in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. People wanted to get the recipe so bad in College Station that they burnt this one down. That's the story that we're going with.
That's the story you're going with, not the whole arson thing that was proven?
I think it was some guy that got so pissed. He wanted that recipe so bad to make Krispy Kreme donuts at his house that he decided, if I can't have it, nobody can. I'm going to burn this sucker to the ground. And we'll just ignore perhaps some slurs that were spray painted on the...
Wait, what? Time out.
I don't know if it was... I say slurs. I can't remember. There was some unsavory things, I think, spray painted on the outside of the building before it was burned down.
I guess?
That whole story was fuzzy. Yeah, it's kind of like a Kiffin's Crimson Corner thing.
Kiffin's Kitten Corner now that he's with the Bayou Bengals.
The cookie to cream ratio of an original Oreo cookie is always, without fail, guess. Just guess. It's
2 to 1.
Huh?
2 to 1?
A little bit more. 71% to 29%.
Always. Without
That's what
fail.
it says. That's what
Without
it says here on
fail?
delish.com.
Have you ever had an Oreo cakester?
I was going to make a very off-topic, obvious analogy. You know, like, does a bear poop in the woods kind of thing.
Okay. Good answer. They're amazing.
They are a little
amazing.
dry.
No.
Wait, what?
Have you ever had an
Oreo
Oreo cakester?
I've not.
Cade, it would change your world.
Cade, as a fat man, I'm going to tell you they're fine. They're very dry. And you're much better off getting double stuffed Oreos and dunking them in milk, because to this day, it remains one of the most elite snacks in the world.
A double stuffed Oreo?
In milk.
The Oreo variant that I like to get is the...
Please don't say the candy bar.
No. The ice cream sandwich that with the Oreo cookies as the two sides, and then the cookies and cream ice cream in the middle. You can get it from like
Oreo.
the gas station.
Pop-Tarts aren't named after the way they pop out of your toaster. The name was actually inspired by the pop art movement and the creations of artists like Andy Warhol. That's why the icing is supposed to be decorative on the outside of a Pop-Tart. That seems like that's a really stupid. Like I think
feels like a stretch.
Yeah, like they should be named after them popping out of the toaster.
Yeah,
that makes a lot more sense. I actually
like
hate
that.
that.
I like that answer way more.
I actually hate the actual fun fact there. The man who created Pringles. That may be something we're doing. That might. You know what? Tomorrow's bit.
Are we eating Pringles?
We're eating Pringles.
Shout out to Mr. Jim.
Power bracket for Pringles. Power rating Pringles on Thunderdome Thursday.
Can we bring Nathan Detmer in for that?
No, I think you're trying too hard. The man who created this is a low rent show. We're going to have to pay somebody to come in here.
No, you wouldn't have to pay him. He's friends, right?
He is friends, but I don't think he lives in College Station. So you're going to pay for his gas to come to B Team? Pass.
No.
The man who created Pringles requested that his children bury part of his cremated remains in the iconic Pringles can when he died. And they fulfilled his wish? Hold up. He's got to be an 800-pound man.
What? Why would he be so fat?
They make a lot of Pringles cans. You think? I'm assuming this says they fulfilled his wish. Yeah, the man who created Pringles requested that his children bury part of his cremated remains in the iconic Pringles can when he died. So are we to assume that every Pringles can sitting on the shelf across the world has a little bit of this guy in it?
No, that's not what that's saying at all.
No, not in the slightest.
A fraction of his remains went into one Pringles can. The rest of it stayed in the urn, and those two things were buried.
What
are you thinking?
Hold on, I read that.
It was to upgrade his aura. It was an aura moment.
The Pringles company was taking
Yes, I thought they were taking
You're psychotic.
And they were putting it in every Pringles can.
No way would the FDA allow that.
Okay.
What is wrong with you?
I actually like my version of the story better.
I don't like your version of the story.
Could you imagine that Mr. Pringle was like 750 pounds? And so they're going, man, we make 5 million Pringles cans a year. How do we siphon up this giant joker and make sure that we get a small flake of his ashes baked inside every one of these aluminum cans of Pringles?
I can't believe you just...
Listen, how many times have you ever looked at the bottom of a Pringles can? You don't know. There might be a very, very minuscule ash in there. They might be using tweezers, and they pluck one ash out of this man's urn, and they put it in every... There's some poor lady with red rubber gloves on doing this. She's got his urn next to her. She goes ash into can. And that's what she does all day. She's got the biggest deltoids in the world. Her arm just does this all day. I like my story better.
Your story sucks. That sucks.
Oh. And that little man bits? And that little man on the Pringles can you just know and love? He has a name.
Oh, yeah?
It's Julius Pringle.
It was a wild time
Julius
when A&M was doing the Pringles thing in 2022, and they brought the Pringle mascot to the Super Regional or whatever. That was insane.
Did you know that ramen noodles were relied on as college students were invented to fulfill demand for the beloved soup during World War II food shortages in Japan?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Pastry maker Pietro Ferrero created Nutella during World War II by combining hazelnuts and chocolate to stretch his cocoa ration, which is better than stretching his cocaine ration. One of them is much more difficult to do, I would imagine. Peeps are marshmallow treats that aren't just for Easter snacking, but whatever time of the year you can buy them. Peeps chicks outsell Peeps bunnies 4-1.
As they should. They're called Peeps, not bunnies.
Did you know Skittles originated in Britain? The only colorful and, I guess, flavorful thing that they've ever done. They were only available in the UK for 5 years before being introduced to North America in 1979. Now it's the second most popular candy in the United States. What do you think the most popular candy in the United States is? I'm just going to look.
Hershey's candy bar.
Reese's is probably the best tasting everyday.
Hershey's candy bar.
I'm going to say M&M's. Most popular candy in the United States is Snickers.
Oh, boo.
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 You're not yourself when you're hungry.
I like Snickers. They're good.
They're okay.
According to AI, it is Snickers, M&M's, then Reese's, and number 4, surprisingly enough, Kit Kat.
Give me a break.
Give me a break. We're taking a 22.5-hour break. That was the B team. That was a very poor way of ending it. Yes. But tomorrow, we're eating Pringles on Thunderdome Thursday. We're supposed to be picking games. I don't know what kind of games we're going to pick. We might pick Texas high school football games because we just got that itch. And I'm going to go see a doctor about it.
Always go NFL.
We could do NFL too. I'm going to go see a doctor about this itch. We'll see y'all tomorrow.